Good morning. I know, Melanie, you were able to join for the mantra this morning. And Jess, if you were curious, this is a sound or a song by Sonic Yogi featuring Octavia Nastir. And I am not a someone who's super confident in offering chanting in my in-person asana classes or here online. I have done it before, and a friend of mine who I went to YTT with, who's a vocalist, she performs. She's performed with the Eagles, which is crazy. Um, Taught me that it's more important to feel into the resonance of the sound rather than worrying about like what happens once it leaves your body. And I think that's so cool. It's kind of like meditation. Like what is happening really, really close to you, and like the world is going to experience you in a certain way that you don't really have control over. But like, I don't know, this idea of resonance was, I don't know, it just hit home a little bit more for me, like the feeling. So maybe I'll keep popping that in if I can be maybe vulnerable. I won't share my singing voice, my singing voice, only because I want to keep that like a personal experience. And there, with a lot of mantra, the words are repeated over and over again. So this one was Om Shanti, the Om Shanti mantra. This is the prayer for peace. And when you repeat it, similar to the suttas that we study, repeating it over and over again is helpful. If it's not written down and you have a mantra in your back pocket, when it couldn't be written down, especially. And then also the repetition can help with feeling into that vibration over time. So like noticing, I think for me at least, I don't talk a lot in the morning. My husband's here, so we talk a little bit. Um, but I do really like a quiet morning. So it also helps just like from a physical perspective to warm up the vocal cords. So anyway, I was feeling a little called to share that mantra this morning. I played that in my restorative class on Tuesday, and it just like most things in my restorative classes, it takes time and then it just like hits different, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. So anyway, if you liked it, maybe give me a little heart in the WhatsApp. Otherwise, I'll just stick with noble silence because that's always nice too. So here we are. We're here Thursday morning after a juicy, spicy afternoon yesterday. We journey into our insight practice. That visual, again, I'll share because it's helpful for me to always reestablish like, what the heck are we doing here? Mindfulness gathers all of the experiences, the sensory world, our physical world, our mental world, our energy world, all gathers into a focal point where we can start to make sense of what's happening. And then our insight practice brings it right back out. The net effect, we're going wide, we're ending wide. The difference is discernment and purpose that funnels through that little narrow gathering point of the hourglass, or whatever visual works best for you. So we may find it helpful to start in mindfulness. What's here? And if at any time the expanse of this practice becomes overwhelming or too unstructured, establishing a home base is extremely supportive. The breath, some kind of sensation in the body. Of course, I like 2 fingers rubbing together. We open ourselves up as wide as possible into the changing nature of reality. Simple in its direction, challenging in its execution at times. So here we go. As usual on our Thursday morning sits, I'll pop in. Your home base is there for you if you need it, or when you need it, maybe. a second to check in. If we stick with that metaphor of the hourglass, we gather the mind through mindfulness, we apply purpose and focus, and then spread it right back out. Because we are in a place of control and intention, you get to decide how far the attention gets to spread. So if it feels like the vast expanse of the universe is a lot, because it is, go back up. Go back up into your hourglass a little bit closer to what's here. Your home base is really close, hopefully. Maybe it's expanded out to the physical body, the mental body, the energy body, the environment, loving kindness, compassion, humankind. This weird object floating in space that we call Earth. You're doing it on purpose in a way that resonates with you. One last little pop in before we enter into our last container of time. Maybe you pause for a second and consider, how wide do you want your awareness to grow? And I say that because I think in our culture, there's this almost like assumed, um, like these ideas that we have to push things as far as they can go. And I mean, that's cool to see what you're capable of and stretch and grow yourself. And it's also really cool and powerful to land in a place that is really, really powerful. Even if it's not to like, I'm thinking about like my yoga, my personal practice, like pushing it to the extreme or going into end range mobility or, tearing my muscles and, seeing as far as I can take it. That's cool. And that has a time and a place. And there's also so much power that you can derive from like landing in a place that isn't the end range and you're there on purpose. Like you're there to explore exactly what's happening. Maybe it's as wide as the universe, maybe it's as narrow as a single breath. Do it on purpose for these last 7 minutes, if I can invite that. And as always, excuse me, as always, when we come to the end of our practice, there's an incredible opportunity to consider how this practice comes off the cushion and into our day. Can you find a moment to practice purpose, moving on purpose, thinking on purpose, expanding on purpose, loving on purpose, touching on purpose? How will you commit and remind yourself sometime today? There's an invitation to bring hands to heart center to close our practice. May the merits of this practice be of benefit to all sentient beings. We include ourselves in the circle of compassion. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Have a lovely weekend. Yoga in the Park is back. I'm teaching on Sunday, weather permitting, so maybe I'll see you at Morgan Park. Have a good one.